I got into self-improvement years ago. I started reading books. I got Audible. I got a bunch of books. I was like, if I just read 100 books the next few months and I keep going, I guess I'll figure something out, right? And the reality is that you can read as many books as you want, but if you don't implement it, if you don't really have more than that, then it's not going to go anywhere.
Episode number 97.
And today we have with us a vegan fitness coach, Julian Liebeck.
Yes.
What's
How
up,
are
people?
you? How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I've had some coffee, getting some work done. Sun is shining here in Norway. So I can't complain.
Nice. It's a good day so far then. All right.
Yes.
So with our first question, we know that you do have a vegan fitness page. You know, this is what you're following. This is what your niche is all about. So what made you first go vegan?
Yes. Let's start with those baseline questions.
Yeah, let's go. So the first thing that happens, I stumbled over a video on the internet years ago, and the guy was vegan, of course, and he said, just try it for a week. You know, if it doesn't work for you, then you can just stop after a week. And I was like, well, it sounds like it's a good thing to do, and I guess I can try. And then I tried it for a week, and then after a week passed, I was like, it's not even hard. Like, just keep going.
Oh, wow.
And then, of course, I watched a bunch of videos about the animal agriculture and all that stuff. And it's really hard to go back after watching that and just saying, like, this is fine. I can totally do this. And I'm just going to go back to meat. Like, it didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
So that's basically it.
Nice. And how long ago was this?
Actually, I was vegan once before, and then I stopped because of some things that happened. So that's 3-4 years ago, I think. So now I've been vegan for a year and a half, a bit longer than that.
A year and a half. All right. Nice.
Awesome.
And so how did the fitness journey start? Did that start before or after you went vegan?
That started way before. So probably back in 2011. I was actually doing an exchange year over in the United States in Kansas, Wichita, Kansas. So I just started going to the gym there and just never stopped. So going into personal training or fitness coaching, that's something I always thought that I was going to do. It's just about, you think, am I ready yet? Am I big enough? Am I strong enough? Can I really do this? So you just procrastinate, and eventually I was like, I'm just going to start, and then I'll screw up a bunch of times. I'll figure things out as I go, and then it'll work.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
So you already had set in your mind that your goal was to be like a fitness coach, right?
Yeah, I knew that was something I wanted to work with, because I always knew from an early age, like, having a normal job, I don't feel it. It's not what I want to do. And everyone around me told me, like, yeah, you got to study, you got to go to college, you got to do all this. I went to college. It was kind of because that's what everyone did, right? And then I studied something called human movement science. So it's basically exercise science. I was like, that sounds pretty cool. It's kind of fitness related. So I'll just try that. And it can be a useful degree, but it's not going to give you a job, right? You're not going to go out of that degree and like, now I can get a job easily. So it was just something that I was interested in. And of course, now it's kind of cool to have with what I'm doing.
Okay, nice.
Awesome. And I feel like a lot of people don't know this, but he like teaches and is willing to coach people. And I'm interested to know if you could describe the process behind coaching a client. How do you work with them to get the best results?
Yeah, so first, when I speak to people, I always ask about the stuff that is under their goals, like behind their fitness and their nutrition. Because if we just skip straight to like, yeah, how do you want to work out? Like, how do you eat and stuff like that? It goes much deeper than that. A lot of people have like mental blocks, psychological things that are going on, reasons why they haven't reached their goals yet. So we dive into like, why do you really want to accomplish this? What have you been struggling with? Can you picture like 10 years from now what's that going to look like, and 6 months from now, and what's going to happen if you don't reach these goals? Because I think a lot of people need to put things in perspective first, because it's very real what can happen. So sometimes we think, when you're having your breakfast, it's like, yeah, today I'll just have the junk food and I'll just skip the workout today. It doesn't really matter, right? I can start tomorrow. But it's because you don't have that big picture view. It can be a bit hard to have that in the moment or during your daily life, but that's what we got to have. And of course, then we create a solid plan that's based around your lifestyle and your specific goals to reach those goals and get support along the way, because it's different for everyone. Some people build muscle faster, some people slower, some people have different goals or different struggles. So it's got to be customized.
No, yeah, that's pretty good right there. And the fact that you also like show that you're willing to dive deep into their mindset, their mind frame, you know, what's got them to where they are now, basically. And I imagine it must have been the same process for yourself. So how did you like personally develop the mindset that you have now?
I think, you know, I got into self-improvement years ago. I started reading books. I got Audible. I got a bunch of books. I was like, if I just read 100 books for the next few months and I keep going, I guess I'll figure something out, right? And the reality is that you can read as many books as you want, but if you don't implement it, if you don't really have more than that, then it's not going to go anywhere. So that's what it started with, I guess, the gym. And then I started reading books, and then I got into watching different stuff on the internet. And you just get into that habit of building yourself up and figuring things out.
Right.
And
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see, you know, when you get into the coaching side of things, you really do emphasize the mindset. And I feel like that's extremely huge, because anyone could just be thrown into a program, do this, and then they'll be like, well, I don't really like feel like this is for me, or, you know, something's just off. So, you know, what is like some myth you see like in the bodybuilding community that you see consistently?
You mean myths about exercise?
Yeah, like just the vegan bodybuilding community, like the culture, like something that you think, oh, you know, that's just obviously not true.
Almost everyone tells me on the first time I speak with them or the second time that people at my job, they say like vegans can't build muscle, right? And they don't get enough protein, and it's not complete protein. But the fact is that every vegan protein source has all the amino acids. It's just distributed a bit like this. Some are high, some are low. So you just got to combine different protein sources and get enough protein every day. Because some people think like as a vegan, you can't get complete protein, but it's complete bull crap.
Yeah. No, that's definitely one of the most common things. And we see it all over Instagram ourselves, and how people are saying like, oh, you know, you can't build muscle, you're not getting complete sources of protein, or like you might struggle to hit these protein goals. And the whole idea of like protein deficiency too. Like, do you come across that a lot?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people ask about it. Of course, how to get enough protein, because it can be a little bit tricky as a vegan. If you don't have protein powder, if you don't eat certain things, then it can be a bit tricky. Most vegans who don't know about this, they usually have a lot of carbs, they have really low calories, and then they lose a ton of weight. Or some people just have vegan burgers, vegan pizza, and they gain a ton of weight. So it's usually one of the two.
Right. Yeah. So with you and your coaching, like, do you do both ends, right? Like you help people like lose healthy weight and gain healthy weight as well?
Yeah. Some people want to focus mostly on weight loss. Then that's the main goal. You know, you create a calorie deficit, and then you create strategies to stick to that deficit. So you can tell someone just eat in a calorie deficit, right? And it's easy to say, but then doing it is another story, because when people have certain, let's say they have a lot of stress, they have family, they have depression, and it's really hard to just say, eat in a calorie deficit, bro. It's not going to be that easy. So you got to manage their appetite, right? Help them find ways to find foods that will serve those goals and that will work for their situation.
Wow, that's perfect.
No, that's amazing that you work with them, not only based on, you know, what's going on in their life, but, you know, actually just care for them as a human. And that's so awesome. And I could see that being like, for someone that's watching this, wanting to, you know, be in somewhat your position, starting to coach people, what are some things that you wish you would have known when you started out the coaching side of things?
Yeah. So there's never a perfect time to start. You just got to start. If you don't think you have enough knowledge about it already, then just learn about it, because I think you can tell people just start, but the reality is some people start coaching, they figure out like, this wasn't for me. Like, I don't have the knowledge. I don't know how to handle things, and it's just out of my expertise. That's a different story. But if you are pretty good at your fitness and you have gotten some results yourself, just start a social media page like Instagram, Facebook. Just share your story. Just don't be afraid to reach out to people who follow you and talk to people, and then ask them about their journey. because that's, you got to connect with people. Like being scared, like if you're a PT in a gym, you still got to go approach people and talk to them, and like you want some help with this, right? So it's kind of like for the people I coach, it's mostly regular people, right? So it's not mostly bodybuilders, it's mostly regular people who want to lose weight, look better, gain some muscle mass. So you kind of have to be like a coach, you have to be kind of a hobby psychologist in a way, and then you kind of have to do your sales and your marketing too, because it's a bunch of stuff you got to focus on.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just a little bit of everything then. Yeah, and so with you, like, did you start off as a personal trainer, or did you just start seeing the results, started gaining knowledge, and decided to go to social media and share this stuff with people?
So I had been training since 2011. So I was like, yeah, I guess I'll start working in a gym. But then I just realized that I can just skip straight to going online, and it's much better. You can help more people, you can earn more, you can do your own thing. And I just started with that. So
okay, perfect.
So
yeah. And for someone looking to live like a more healthy lifestyle, what do you think is the first step they should take? Because at first it might seem overwhelming to like start counting everything, you know, start a routine and all this stuff. But if you had to simplify it down for them, like what's the first thing that they should really focus on?
I think first, just like, what bad habits do I have? And also setting some goals, because a lot of people are doing stuff, but they don't have any goals, right? You're trying to shoot for a target and you don't know what the target is or where it is or anything at all.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
Right.
So would you recommend like having just laid it out, seeing what is my next move instead of just wandering?
Yeah, totally. Just take a pen and paper. Like you got to do it on pen and paper. If you do it on the laptop, it's not the same. Like you just, okay, delete, boom. You got to get a pen, get a paper, put it on the table, and just start your morning with writing down exactly what you want to accomplish. And a lot of people find it a bit hard to write it because, yeah, I wanna lose 50 kilos. I want to earn $1 million. Like I can't write that because I don't believe it's gonna happen. But even though it seems a bit of a stretch, just write it down, because that's the first step. And be honest about it. Don't try to make your goals smaller to make them easier to achieve. Just write exactly where you want to be, like next year, in the next 10 years, and then figure out how to get there.
Wow. No, that's some good stuff, because there's definitely something powerful about writing things. That's to just, you know, either keeping them in your mind or just texting it. Yeah. Notes. Like pen to paper brings it to life somehow.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. You can feel the difference. It's some sort of energy transfer from pen to paper. Something that I want to know is, when it comes to coaching, I know it does take a lot of, you know, learning and wanting to be willing to help people. So what are things you do to stay on top of just things within your role, like learning wise? Like what do you continuously try to indulge in?
Yes, I think it's really good to continuously learn about your niche, or about your what's it called, your path, whatever. So I follow some of the research online. I do follow a lot of people who are mostly science based, because, you know, there's a lot of bro science out there. There are a lot of bodybuilders. I mean, people usually think, okay, that's a big guy, so he probably knows what he's doing. But in reality, some people have good genetics. They build muscle 3 times faster than you. They do steroids, right? So they can just like lift weights for a year or two, take some steroids, just blast as hard as possible, and then look freaking amazing. And then in reality, they don't know a lot about it, how to implement it on other people and what goes into it. So I just stay on top of some of the science. I am gonna stay more on top of it because I think it's really important. And yeah, I also just go back to the PT course I took, because I took a PT course with Menno Henselmans. I don't know if you guys heard about him. He's the science-based prince. He's a really good dude. He knows, like, if you ask him about fitness, he knows every science. He knows how many articles are published on every topic. He knows how many studies are done on everything. So that's a really solid course that I took a couple of years ago. So that's kind of like something I can go back to and check things out, because it covers everything.
All right, that's awesome.
Wow, that's amazing.
And with your program specifically, do you only train like vegans that are looking to get fit, or just people who are looking to get fit, and then you recommend them this like the vegan diet as well as the fitness behind it?
You mean only vegans, or vegan or going vegan? People are going vegan?
Yeah, that's right.
Mostly vegans. If people want to go vegan or go more plant-based, then I help them too. So it's a bit of both. Mostly vegans. It's been a few people who aren't vegan.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was wondering, if it was only vegans that were coming to you or people that were like interested, because I just wasn't sure if people like come at it with like kind of iffy, like they don't really know, like I don't know if I can do this.
Yeah.
Do I have to be vegan to do this and things like that. But
yeah, there are a lot of people who want to go vegan. They don't know how to do it. They don't know what goes into it, if it's possible to get enough protein and all this. So there are definitely people like that too.
Okay. And so with you as well, like, do you have I guess like a routine that keeps you on top of the game here? Like, do you have like a certain way you start your mornings, or what daily habits do you like to incorporate into your life?
Yeah. So I like to first say that no one's perfect, right? I have a routine, but sometimes, like right now, I'm visiting my family over in a different town. So it kind of got messed up a bit, but always getting back on track. Same with your habits. You can mess up, you can fuck up, but then the key is just always getting back on track when you can. So I like to start my mornings. Just I first of all, I write down everything I do in my Google Calendar every single day, so I know pretty much every hour of every day what I'm supposed to be doing. Try to do my most important tasks early in the day because that's when you have most energy, most focus, mental focus. And I start my days by writing down just 10 things I'm grateful for in my journal, and I write down my dreams if I had any, and also I repeat my big business goal 10 times. Just write the same sentence 10 times. Because like I said, when you write something down, you just imprint it into your head.
Right. So you see it like sort of like a manifestation, like a little bit of an affirmation.
Yeah, for sure. I think people think manifestation, it sounds a bit mumbo jumbo or something, but I think manifesting is really, it's a real thing. So when you think about something enough, if you focus on the positive, if you focus on the results you're going to get, if you focus on improving, then that's what's going to happen for you. If you focus on the negative, you feel sorry for yourself all the time, you complain all the time, then you're going to get more crap into your life.
That's right.
No, we definitely do agree with that. We definitely do believe in the power of manifestation. And I mean, I can see, you're doing very well on social media, and this is just the beginning. You can always see the potential in someone. So I definitely do see a lot of prosperity in your future, because I can see you just doing well already. So, just keep going with that, because I definitely do know, with that kind of mindset, you can do so much.
Exactly.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, I think it's the mindset. I mean, people might have no followers, no money, no job, nothing, but if they have a really good mindset, then there's always always a solution to every problem. Same with clients with fitness related goals. Like, there are going to be obstacles. Like, it's not going to be a smooth path. It's going to be a bunch of obstacles. It's just about going around those obstacles and working around it and improving every single day and learning from our mistakes, because there are going to be a lot of mistakes and there are going to be a lot of fuck ups.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
No, yeah, that's for sure. And I guess with you specifically, and the your program specifically as well, what has been like one of the biggest obstacles that you've had to face, at least in the past year?
I think when you start into something like that, you never did it before, then it's like you got to figure a lot of stuff out as you go. So it's kind of like, yeah, you're gonna drive a car. You never really the only thing you drove before was a go-kart, and now you're going to drive a regular car. You never had any experience or any lessons or anything, just crash a few times and figure it out. So I think just like the mental aspect of it, the psychological aspect of coaching regular people who are overweight, to have not that good of a mindset already. So you got to help them and help them like just do stuff, because the limiting factor here isn't that they have the perfect program or the perfect diet, is that you help them feel that it's going to be real. You bring the energy, and then you help them to actually do the workouts and actually follow the diet every single day, because that's going to be what can mess things up. Not if it's like the super optimal program.
Right. No, yeah, that makes 100% sense. So
I was wondering, so when you get into the coaching side of things and you sit down with a client and they're ready, what are like the first couple steps you do leading on from there?
So when someone starts a coaching?
Yes.
Yeah, so I usually have a few days to plan everything out, and then they get access to a questionnaire. So they tell me everything about their habits, about their lifestyle, about their goals, allergies, injuries, anything like that. Their experiences in the past, a little bit about their genetics too. So if they were heavy as a baby, like what do your hands look like? Because that can actually tell a little bit about your genetics or testosterone that you had. Um,
Interesting.
Wow.
yeah,
See,
sometimes my English blanks out, but how much
no,
testosterone you
you're
had
completely
around
fine.
you, like as a baby and things like that.
Mhm.
So, so just yeah, just having the most info I can before I plan it out, and then I set up a program, training program. And then I set up their diet. They might follow a meal plan, right? Some people like that. Most people that I coach, they track their calories and their macros, so they can actually do it on their own and learn everything. And I give them advice on all that stuff.
Mhm.
Awesome. So are
So
you? Oh, I'm sorry. You go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say everything's customized for every individual, right? And it's also changed as we go because things change,
That's right.
things happen. It's not like you get handed something, just do that. Bye bye.
Mhm.
Right.
Okay. Well, no, that's awesome. So is it like you sit down with them like weekly, like say something like this, like, oh, I'm like we're on a FaceTime or whatever, and we just sit down and happen like recap at the end of the weeks, or is it like monthly basis, or is it consistent, daily communication?
Yeah, so it's pretty cool actually. It's 24/7 chat communication, so I answer when I can. I have weekly calls with them one-on-one. I also have a weekly group call where we go through we just talk a little bit and then we go through a certain topic. So it might be some nutrition topic, exercise topic, mindset topic. So they actually learn for the long term. Because what I always say is you can follow a program, you can get handed something, just do that for a few months, get
Mm.
some results, but you still don't know, you don't have a clue what to do in the future, how to replicate
Mm.
those results. So the plan here is that they get from point A to point B, but they also learn as much as possible, and they show up for the calls and they learn as much as possible so that in the future they know how to set up a program, they know how to eat, they know how to what nutrients to focus on, what foods, how to manage their appetite and all that stuff.
Mm.
That's so good. No, I love that. I love that because you can. The thing is, it's longevity. They take this information and they implement it into their lives. For the rest of their lives. So that's
Mhm.
so good.
Yes, no, I agree. Because I mean, that's definitely some passion right there for you to actually involve yourself in these people's lives, daily, and actually try and help them to actually learn this stuff and not really be so dependent on you either, because you're just like, you're basically guiding them. Like you want them to eventually like actually learn and absorb this information and start helping themselves as well. So that's amazing. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, of course.
Something that, when it comes to a transitioning vegan wanting to go plant-based or, vegan plant-based lifestyle, what are some top 3 resources you recommend for them to check out?
People who want to go vegan,
Yes.
oof, it's a hard one because there's so much out there. A lot of people say watch documentaries on Netflix. I just follow mostly science-based people. The veganism part of it is something I kind of I knew quite a bit about nutrition and training already, so it's not
Mhm.
the hardest for me.
Mhm.
But if people have no clue, then I would just follow people online, like let's say Instagram, who are science based. Like they follow the science, they follow the evidence based approach, because a lot of people they say things, but they don't really have something to back that up with, right?
Mhm.
So I
Mhm.
think documentaries on Netflix can be great too, but there can be some mistakes in there or some over exaggerations about certain things. They have debunked some things in there.
Mhm.
Um, so I would just be wary of where you get your info. Like if you listen to me and I tell you something, just like ask me like, how do I know that? Or like, where do you have that from? Because I
Mhm.
can say wrong stuff. Everyone can be wrong.
Mhm.
So yeah, I would just say whatever source you get your info from, just be a little bit skeptical and just like realize that take everything with a grain of salt, because
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Okay.
All righty. Well, do you want to go and wrap this up and ask him some rapid fire questions?
Yes, definitely. I guess we can wrap it up with the rapid fire questions.
Perfect. So right now we're going to ask you some 5 questions. These questions were inspired by Jay Shetty. And so we're just going to start with the first one here. And the first question is, what's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Wow. I mean, I guess it's just don't bullshit yourself, because
Mm.
every time you have, like, I'm sure you guys, you said you follow like the approach that you can manifest things and it's your mindset. So when you have negative thoughts, they're just thoughts. Just realize that, throw it away, and just focus on the positive.
Mhm.
Focus on the positive.
Right. Okay, perfect.
Awesome.
Next question is, what's the worst piece of advice that you've ever received?
Stay safe. Don't do things before you're ready.
Mm.
Oh, that's
And what's something that you know to be true, but that others might disagree with you on?
Something that other might disagree with me on, but I know to be true.
Mhm.
You can
definitely
get
make you think.
the exact same results as a vegan when it comes to building muscle and losing body fat than any other people. It's just about the protein and the calories and the training. There's no inherent difference. A lot of people also think it's much better to be vegan, but it's mostly the same.
Mhm. All right.
Awesome.
And the fourth one is, what's something you wish you knew earlier?
There's never going to be a perfect time.
That's a good
Awesome.
one. And the last one here is, if you could create one law that everyone in the world had to follow, what would that law be?
There would be like a limit or like a taxation on how much meat and animal products you could have. So eventually they would lower it and lower it and lower it until we cut that shit out. So everyone would
Nice.
thrive on plants, and they would just switch out all the products with similar things that were plant-based.
Yes.
Nice. All right. We love that.
No, we
Perfect.
definitely do.
Yeah, that was a great way to wrap it up. I feel like people got a lot of knowledge from this, and especially now seeing you as more than just a vegan fitness coach, the mindset behind it and everything. And so now we definitely want to send our audience over to you. Where can people find you at?
You can find me mostly on Instagram, Julian Liebeck, Liebeck. You can find me also on Facebook at the same name. And you can check out my link tree on Instagram. I've got some free resources. I got a free ebook that's really awesome. I put some effort into, so you can get that for free and learn quite a few things from that. Also, you can book a call with me if you want. It's for free. So if you just want to check it out, see what it's about, then we can talk a little bit and then see if coaching would be something for you.
Awesome.
Perfect.
No, I do want to take the time to say that we do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to be here with us and hopefully inspiring someone to maybe make that fitness journey change, that plant-based change. Because I know they see this, they're like, it's more than just the physique, it's more mindset, because the physique just comes after. And that's amazing. And I appreciate you.
Yes. Thank you for being here with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I'm gonna check out your podcast in
Appreciate
the
it,
future
man.
too.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.